Hello and welcome to today's Mishna Brura. Today we're doing chapter 97, number 2 through to the end of 97. Asur lo larok, it is forbidden for him to spit. Ve'im yefshar lo shelo yarok, if it's impossible for him not to spit, this is during the Amidah. Mavli or, literally that means to swallow it, but it's not just swallowing in your mouth, as we'll see, like cover it up. Biksuto, with his clothing. I mean, basically what we would say here is a kerchief, that he should rather spit into the kerchief. Ve'inyan shelo yehi nir'eh, in a way that it will not be seen. Ve'imhu istanis, and if he is an istanis, Ramos is perish, and davar ma'us, that he cannot see something disgusting, in other words, a sensitive person, and he cannot spit into his clothing, Zorko le'achorav, he should throw it behind him. Now again, we're speaking here about a system of etiquette and behavior that is quite foreign to us today. I don't know of people who have big problems with what are they supposed to do spitting during the Amidah. Vim yefshar lezorko le'achorav, it's impossible to throw it behind him. Zorko le'smolo, throw it to his left. Avaloli amino, but not to his right. V'akoshikain lafanav, how much more so in front of him. Da asur, which is forbidden, and presumably we'll see in the Mishna Brura, but presumably because that is, so to speak, where the presence of Hashem is right in front of you. Koshikain again, how much more so. Now he says Vaha delakaman, and this that later on. Bereish Simon Kufchav Gimel, number 123, Shofech Panav L'tzad Small, when he turns to the left, Tchila Shu Yamin Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, first you should turn to your left, which is, so to speak, Hashem's right. Yesh Lomar Datam, you can say the reason is, Keivan Sheme Olam Lo Yarda Shechina Lamata Me'asara, since the Shechina, the presence of Hashem, never descended below 10 Tfachim, about 1 meter, Imkain, if so, Ein Hashchina keneged hamitpalel. The Shechina, the presence of Hashem, is not opposite the one who is praying. Ulefichach chalku kavod liyamin didei berekika. And therefore, so because Hashem really, the presence of Hashem is above you, not directly opposite you. And therefore, they ascribed honor. Chalku literally means to divide it. They divided honor, but it means they gave honor to his right in spitting, shibishat tefillah, during prayer. Aval keshe poseya, when he steps, shlosh psiot, the 3 steps, adam markik atmo mimakom tfilato, person distances himself from this place of prayer, vu keneged Hashchina, and that corresponds to the presence of Hashem. Ulefichach noten shalom lismolo, she'az hu keneged yemino shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is then to the right of Hashem. So the idea that he's saying is that Hashem's presence is not really there in front of you, that there's two, we shouldn't be too literal about the right and the left. But what it means is, during the time of prayer, your right is more like the place of Hashem, so therefore you shouldn't spit that way. But when you're taking steps back, it should be like you are taking leave from Hashem, so you bow to your left, which is to Hashem's right. But it's not too literal. That's why, even though you have a bit of a contradiction, don't worry too much about it. Number 3, imekina ukatto, if a louse ukatto literally stung him, what we would say is bit him, yemashmesh bevgadav, he should feel his clothing, you rub against his clothing, lehasira, to remove it. Shelo batel kavanato, in order that his intention, his focus, should not be negated. Avalo yasirenu be'ado, but he should not remove it with his hand. And the idea is that a louse is seen as unclean, so you shouldn't touch it during davening, but don't just leave it there biting you, because then you won't be focusing on your prayer either. V'davka, specifically b'shat hatfila, at the time of prayer. Aval shelo b'shat hatfila, but if it's not the time of prayer, yachol litol kina ulazarka b'veit hakneset. You are allowed to take the prayer and take the flea and throw it in the shul. Number 4, v'im nishmat talito mimkomo, if his talit slips moves from its place. Yachol, he is able, lemashmesh bo, to again to rub it, to move it. Ulahachziro, and return it. So he feels that it's slipping, he can pull it back. Aval imenafal kulo, but if it fell, all of it completely, he is not able to go back and wrap himself in it. To have a hefsek, because that would be an interruption. So to just adjust it so that it doesn't fall in the middle of the Amidah is fine, but if it has actually fallen off, you can't now put it back. Number 5, hanose masui, somebody who's carrying a burden, a load, al kateifav on his shoulders, vehigia zman tefillah, and the time for prayer has arrived, pachot me'arba kavin, less than 4 kavin, a kav is a certain amount, mafshilo le'achorav, sling it behind him and pray. It's a light burden, so you can put that, you can just hang it'll have a sack over his shoulder and pray. Arba kavin, if it weighs as much as arba kav, manichaim al gabe karka umitpalel. You can place it on the floor and pray. So you shouldn't hold it when it's a heavy burden. All right, let's see the Mishna Brura. So we started speaking about how you can't spit during the Amidah, but if you really need to, so you can put it hide it in your clothing, but if that's going to freak you out, then you toss it behind you. Larok, to spit, v'kol she'asur b'toch tefillah, and whatever is forbidden within prayer itself, asur afilu b'tachanunim shel achar tefillah, is forbidden also in the supplications. And here he means that paragraph of Elokai in a tzor, shel achar hatfilah, that is after prayer, that's after the Amidah. The kol zman shelo pasah, the whole time that he has not stepped, they haven't taken your 3 steps back. Havelei, that is ka'omed. Havelei, it is for him. Ka'omed lifna hamelech, like he is standing before the king. If sharlo, if it's impossible for him, kagon sheyitzta'er bazeh, that it will cause him pain. Ve'yahei tarud b'tfilato, if he doesn't spit, he's in pain and he's going to be bothered in his prayer. Ve'achar harakika, after he spat, yamtin kedai hiluch arba amot, he should wait the amount of time that it takes to walk 2 meters, a few seconds. Ukad le'el, as we mentioned above. Shelo yehi near air, but whatever he does with his spit, so he should hide it away so that it won't be seen. Kagon bebeged tachton, like on his clothing underneath, like on his vest. Aval bebeged elyon, but on his upper clothing, on his shirt. Kaivan sharok near air, since the saliva can be seen, asur, this is forbidden. Uvimidinatenu ishelov shin patseles. And in our countries where we wear this kind of clothing, even though you could see the saliva, it's possible that it's permissible. Since it's made for this, so it's some kind of outer garment that people usually wipe their hands and whatever else on. That's not disgusting. That's what the Magen Avraham wrote. But the other authorities wrote also in this you need to wrap up the place of the spit so that it won't be seen. Parish, the explanation is, if it's disgusting for him to wrap it, to spit into his clothing, or he is not able to hold it in his mouth until he's going to spit it into his jacket, or if it is a nice article of clothing. So in any of these cases where it's not viable to spit it into his clothing, and if we will require him, tzarich is to need, we will require from him. If we will require from him to wrap it up in his clothes, yachudenu gamkein, that will also disturb him. So therefore, zorka lacharav, he should throw it behind him. Hainu shehofech panav lacharav, turn his head behind him. Or shezorko biyado lacharav, or throw it to his hand behind him. Avalo klape mala, but not upwards. Shinireka kofir, because that looks like a non-believer, like he's, so to speak, spitting at God, God forbid. Of course, again, Lefanav certainly can't spit in front of him. When he prays, the presence of God is in front of him. Nevertheless, if it's impossible for him to spit except before him or to his right, and he's in pain of his prayer, since he can't spit, he is allowed to spit to his right. Even to spit in front of him if he's really in pain, because again, it's not that Hashem is like really in front of him like that. You could say the reason is okay, so there are more gave this answer because Hashem really is above you, so Hashem's not really in front of you. So when you're davening, we see it to the right. When you're taking a step back, we go to your left, which is Hashem's right. He says, and the later authorities answered simply. Dahacha, here, it's Aramaic, Beshat Rikikato, at the time of his spit, Mesalek Miminu Kvod Hashchina, he is removing from himself the glory, the honor of the presence of Hashem. As we write in chapter 3, as far as honoring Hashem. Okay, Azlinan, therefore, Aramaic, we go. Batar Yaminu Small Shela Adam, after, what's Aramaic? We go after the right and left of the person. Mashe Ein Kain, what is not so, B'Siman Kuf Chel Gimel, in chapter 123, Da'iri, it is speaking, that's also Aramaic, B'Hishtachava'ah, with bowing. Shemishtachav, that he bows, B'Sof Tfilato Le'Hashchina, at the end of his prayer towards the Shekhinah. Al Kanazlin and Bata Yamin de Shekhinah, then we go after the right of the Shekhinah. In other words, when it's from your perspective, we talk about your right. When it's from Hashem's perspective, we speak about, so to speak, Hashem's right. Vukeneged Hashchina, opposite corresponding to the presence of Hashem, or this means She'al Korchacha, you have to say. Kavanato, as his intention then, when he's bowing down, Lishtavot Neged Hashchina, bowing down to Hashem. She'ula Male Me'asara, which is above 10, Ki'alo Lo Yard Alamata, because Hashem never descended lower than that. Okay? Be'yado, in his hand. So this is, you shouldn't take the louse that's biting you in your hand. Vim avar untala, and if he transgressed and took it, yeshaf sheif yado bakotel, he should rub his hand on the wall, or b'davar acher, or on something else, ukalel, as we saw above, to clean his hand. Siman Vav. Okay. And he references earlier, Siman Dalet, Sif Yud Chet, chapter 4, paragraph 18, the Muvuar Sham, it is clarified there, Danogeya Bikina, somebody who touches a louse, Tzarich Tol Yadav B'mayim, he needs to wash his hands with water, Mibnei Ruach Ra'ah, because of the literally evil spirit, negative energy, Hashoreh, that rests ala Yadayim, over the hands. V'kol Shekei, how much more so? Imhu Kodem Tfilah, if it's before prayer, that Tzarich Litol Yadav B'mayim Mibnei Tfilah, that he needs to wash his hands in water because of prayer. Yachol Mashmeish, he can move. We're speaking about the talus. You can move your talus back. Afilu Nafal Rubo, even if most of it has already fallen, you can put it back. But Kulov, all of it has fallen. Afilu Im Nishar Adaim Be'ador, even if it remains still in his hand. Ha'atifa Have Hefsek, the wrapping, the fact that he's now wrapping it back around himself, is an interruption. So now he says, he's not allowed to do that. And if he transgressed and did wrap himself again in the talus, he does not need to begin from the beginning of that bracha. He doesn't need to go back to where he left off. Ella, rather, he concludes that prayer, and goes further. And when he finishes his prayers at Amidah, he should move his talus around and say the bracha. Because what we saw earlier was that if your whole talus has fallen off, you actually need to say the bracha again. Take a look earlier, chapter 8, Siaf Yud Tet Vav, chapter 15, of Mishna Brura, Mishna Brura. Okay. Zakain shemasim bata anaim, shikoin brill. An old man who places glasses, okay, somebody's wearing glasses, im hein refuyin bachotmo, if they are weak on his nose, right? In other words, some of his glasses are close to falling off. Shekarvli bolts, close to falling. Al yedei kriyot v'ishtachaviot, through the bowing and bowing. Nachon, it is correct, lehachmir, to be strict. Sheyik shireim, that he should tie them on, mitchila b'chut, from the beginning with a thread. So make sure that they are somehow fastened so that they won't fall off. To have a hefsek, that would be an interruption by taking off the talus. Yeah, it's putting on the talus again. Unless he is bothered through not having a talus. How can I daven without a talus and everything? And he's not able to focus. So then put it on when he finishes the bracha. Al gabe karka, if it's on the ground, to put down your heavy burden. To masu shal arba kavin, a weight of 4 kav, imheim alav, if that is upon him, if he's carrying such a heavy weight, mevatlin kavanato, that will negate his intention. And that's it for today.